One of the most heartbreaking moments for many women over 60 is when their own body begins to feel like a stranger. Arms no longer lift as easily, legs feel heavy, and climbing stairs brings hesitation. Most are told it is normal, that muscle loss is destiny, but the truth is far more powerful. Imagine if in just 30 seconds each morning, you could send a signal to your body that strength still matters, that independence is still yours. 30 seconds that could protect you from the silent thief called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle that steals balance, energy, and confidence. This is not about gyms, machines, or hours of training. It is about one simple habit you can do the moment you wake up. A movement that needs nothing more than a chair and a little intention. Paired with the right breakfast fuel, this habit can change how you walk, how you rise, and how you feel in every part of life. If you believe aging means decline, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you will know the secret to fighting sarcopenia and reclaiming your freedom in less than a minute each morning. The very first action you take in the morning sets the tone for the entire day. For women over 60, this is especially true because the body is no longer forgiving when muscles are ignored. After a night of rest, your muscles are in a passive state. If you simply shuffle into the kitchen, sit for breakfast, and then spend the morning with light activity, the message to your body is silence. The body interprets that silence as weakness is acceptable, and muscles slowly waste away. But when you send a clear signal, the moment you rise, the body listens. The signal can be as short as 30 seconds, and yet it can unlock the chain of strength that carries through every hour that follows. This is the power of the sit-to-stand habit. Sit-to-stand is exactly what it sounds like. You find a sturdy chair without wheels, place it on a firm surface, and use it as both a tool and a safeguard. With your feet about hip-width apart, you lower yourself slowly onto the chair, pause just enough to show control, and then stand up tall, driving through your heels. You repeat this rhythm for 30 seconds. The goal is not speed. The goal is to create a deliberate conversation between your brain and your muscles. This simple action wakes up the thighs, hips, glutes, and core, the very muscles that sarcopenia steals first. Every repetition is like saying to your body, these muscles matter. Keep them alive. Make them stronger. Many women doubt that such a small act could make any difference. They imagine that fighting sarcopenia requires hours in a gym or complicated fitness routines. Yet research has shown that the body responds not only to volume, but to consistency. A clear daily signal repeated again and again has the power to protect mobility and independence. The beauty of the sit-to-stand habit is that it is safe, adaptable, and requires nothing more than what you already own. A chair is enough. Your own body weight is enough. There are no memberships, no machines, no excuses. Just intention. Let us talk about technique, because technique is what transforms an ordinary movement into a medicine against muscle loss. Stand with your feet planted firmly and aligned with your hips. Keep your knees pointing the same direction as your toes. As you lower yourself, do not collapse. Control the descent with slow breath. Touch the chair lightly rather than dropping into it. As you rise, exhale and drive through your heels. Keep your chest lifted and your eyes looking forward. This posture protects the joints and forces the muscles to engage. If your knees drift inward, press them gently apart. If your heels want to lift, press them firmly to the ground. Each cue adds quality to the signal. Now let us face the reality that not every woman at 60 or 70 will be able to perform the sit-to-stand without help. That is normal, and it is the reason why the habit is so adaptable. If balance is uncertain, position the chair near a wall so your fingertips can touch for reassurance. If knee pain interferes, add a cushion to raise the seat height or choose a slightly higher chair so the hips do not travel as low. If rising without arms feels impossible at first, allow your hands to push lightly on the armrests. With time, as strength builds, reduce the support until your legs take the full load. Adaptation is not weakness. Adaptation is the doorway to progress. What makes 30 seconds so effective is timing. When you give your muscles a clear challenge immediately upon waking, you flip the switch from idle to active. Your nervous system wakes up, your circulation improves, and your metabolism responds more efficiently for the next several hours. Blood sugar is steadier, energy release is more balanced, and posture throughout the morning feels easier. Think of it as a deposit into your muscle bank account. Each repetition is a coin. 30 seconds may not seem like much on its own, but when deposited every morning, those coins accumulate into meaningful wealth. Over weeks and months, the compound interest shows up in lighter grocery bags. Fewer pauses on the stairs, easier rises from toilets or sofas, and steadier steps on uneven ground. Women often ask how many repetitions they should aim for in 30 seconds. The answer is whatever number you can perform with quality. Some will manage only 3 or 4 at first. Others may reach 8 or 10. Both are success because the true success is the habit itself. As the weeks pass, you will naturally improve. Without forcing it, you will notice you can complete more repetitions in the same time. That progression is proof that your muscles are listening. Write the number in a small notebook so you can look back and see the story of your strength. Even if progress feels invisible in the mirror, the log shows the truth. You are growing stronger. It is important to understand that sarcopenia is not only about muscle size. It is about nerve communication, balance, coordination, and confidence. The sit-to-stand habit addresses all of these. When you stand from a chair repeatedly, your brain learns the sequence more efficiently. You train not only muscles, but also the timing of nerve signals. That coordination reduces the risk of stumbling and improves the ability to catch yourself if you do trip. Confidence grows because you feel in control of your own body. And confidence is what allows you to keep engaging in the activities that bring joy, whether that is gardening, traveling, or simply playing with grandchildren. Consider how this 30-second practice influences identity. When you start each day with deliberate strength, you begin to see yourself differently. You are no longer a woman slipping into decline. You are a woman who invests in resilience. That shift in identity matters because our choices flow from who we believe we are. If you see yourself as fragile, you will avoid challenge. If you see yourself as strong, you will seek opportunities to move. The sit-to-stand habit becomes more than exercise. It becomes a declaration. I am still alive. I am still strong. I still matter. Imagine 1 month from now. You have completed 30 seconds of sit-to-stands every morning for 30 days. You open your notebook and see 30 marks in a row. At first, the number of repetitions was small, but gradually it grew. Each mark represents a promise kept to yourself. That visual evidence is powerful. It says you are capable of consistency, discipline, and growth. This is how muscle is rebuilt after 60, not by chasing perfection, but by planting tiny seeds of action each day. The harvest is confidence, energy, and independence. So tomorrow morning, before the phone, before the kettle, before the rush of the day, plant your feet firmly on the floor. Find your chair. Sit down with control. Stand up with strength. Repeat until 30 seconds have passed. Smile knowing that you have made a deposit into your future. That ritual, humble as it looks, is a shield against sarcopenia and a statement of who you are becoming. 30 seconds is enough to begin. 30 seconds is enough to matter. 30 seconds is enough to change the story of your aging body. Strength does not come only from movement. Muscles cannot rebuild unless they are given the raw material to grow. This is why the 30-second habit in the morning is only half the story. The other half is what you place on your plate at breakfast. Too many women over 60 start their day with tea and toast, maybe a little jam, or sometimes just coffee. It is quick, it feels comforting, but it is not feeding the muscles. Without protein, the body has no bricks to rebuild the house. The signal from sit to stand says keep the muscles, but if you do not provide the building blocks, the body cannot follow through. That is why protein at breakfast is the key that multiplies the power of the morning habit. Protein is made of amino acids, and these are the molecules that repair and rebuild muscle tissue. After 60, the body becomes less efficient at using them, so the need actually increases rather than decreases. Studies show that older adults may require 20 to 30 grams of protein in a meal to truly stimulate muscle growth, far more than the 5 or 6 grams in a slice of bread. Think of protein as fuel, but also as medicine. Every morning you need to give your body a strong dose so it can respond to the exercise you have just completed. What are the best options? For simplicity, start with eggs. One egg provides about 6 grams of protein along with valuable vitamins and minerals. Scramble 1 or 2, and you have already made a deposit in your muscle bank. Add half a cup of Greek yogurt, and you add another 10 grams. Put a spoonful of chia or flax seeds on top, and you bring in extra fiber and omega-3s. Cottage cheese is another simple choice, giving 14 grams in half a cup. If you enjoy smoothies, blend milk, banana, spinach, and a scoop of protein powder, and you can easily reach 20 grams in one glass. These are not complicated recipes. They are practical ways to make sure your muscles receive what they need first thing in the morning. For women who prefer plant-based foods, there are excellent options too. Soybeans, tofu, and tempeh provide complete proteins that the body can use efficiently. Soy milk fortified with calcium and vitamin D is a strong addition to breakfast. You can also combine foods to achieve complete proteins, such as oatmeal with peanut butter or whole grain toast with hummus. The key is not only the amount, but the timing. Delivering protein right after your muscles have been challenged by sit to stands ensures that the amino acids are shuttled directly into the repair process. Let us imagine a typical week. On Monday, you might have 2 scrambled eggs with berries. On Tuesday, Greek yogurt with nuts. On Wednesday, oatmeal with milk and peanut butter. On Thursday, a tofu scramble with vegetables. On Friday, cottage cheese with pineapple. On Saturday, a smoothie with protein powder. On Sunday, perhaps leftover chicken or fish placed on whole grain toast. This rotation keeps breakfast interesting and balanced while providing consistent high-quality protein. Each meal becomes part of your defense against sarcopenia. Why is protein at breakfast more powerful than protein later in the day? Because mornings are when your metabolism is most sensitive. After a night of fasting, your muscles are ready to absorb nutrients. By eating protein early, you stabilize blood sugar, reduce cravings, and improve focus for the entire morning. It is like opening the blinds and letting the sun in. The energy flows better, the brain feels sharper, and the body has fuel to maintain posture and movement. When you combine sit to stands with protein, you create a partnership. The exercise sends the signal, the breakfast provides the material, and together they build resilience. Consider also hydration. Muscles are 70% water, and dehydration worsens fatigue and weakness. Begin your morning with a glass of water or tea alongside your protein. This combination improves circulation, digestion, and nutrient delivery. You do not need fancy supplements to fight sarcopenia. You need consistency in 2 things: intentional movement and intentional nourishment. These are accessible, affordable, and sustainable for life. Some women worry about weight gain when they hear they should increase protein. But the reality is, protein is more satisfying than simple carbohydrates. A breakfast rich in protein helps control appetite, reduces snacking on sugary foods, and supports healthy weight management. In fact, women who shift from toast and jam to eggs or yogurt often find they have more energy without adding extra calories. The body burns more energy digesting protein than it does digesting sugar, a process called the thermic effect of food. So the very act of eating protein stimulates metabolism. It is also worth noting that protein is not only for muscles. It is essential for immune function, for hormones, and for skin and hair health. When women after 60 improve their protein intake, they often notice brighter skin, stronger nails, and more stable moods. This is a reminder that nourishing your muscles nourishes your whole self. You are not feeding just legs and arms. You are feeding the systems that support vitality. Let me share a simple story. A woman in her early 60s began the sit-to-stand habit, but at first she paired it with her usual breakfast of tea and toast. She felt some improvement in energy, but progress was slow. When she added a scrambled egg each morning, she began to notice changes more quickly. Her legs felt firmer, her mid-morning slump was less intense, and she started walking with more confidence. Later, she expanded to yogurt with nuts, and soon her grocery bags felt lighter. The habit of movement was the spark, but protein was the fuel that made the fire grow brighter. If you are concerned about digestion or allergies, there are always options. Lactose-free dairy is available, and soy-based proteins are effective substitutes. For those with diabetes or kidney concerns, talk to your clinician about the right amount and type of protein. The principle remains the same. Muscles cannot be preserved without sufficient building blocks. Do not let a medical condition or preference become an excuse to neglect nutrition. There is always a way to adapt. Another tip is to keep it simple and consistent. The goal is not gourmet meals or complicated cooking. The goal is to make sure that every single morning your body receives both the challenge of movement and the nourishment of protein. Place a reminder on your counter. Keep eggs and yogurt stocked. Prepare a jar of nuts and seeds ready to sprinkle. These small preparations make success automatic. When it becomes routine, you will not even have to think about it. You will simply rise, move, and fuel. The combination of the 30-second habit with a protein-rich breakfast is powerful medicine against sarcopenia. It says to your body strength matters, and here are the tools to build it. Over weeks and months, this ritual compounds. Muscles feel firmer, energy steadier, balance more secure. Independence is no longer slipping away. It is being reclaimed one morning at a time. This is not theory. It is practical, tested, and achievable. And it belongs to every woman willing to give herself 30 seconds and a plate of real food. Habits grow stronger when they are seen, counted, and celebrated. This is why tracking is the third pillar of protecting strength after 60. Movement is the spark, protein is the fuel, but tracking is the glue that holds the ritual together. Without a way to mark progress, the mind easily forgets, dismisses effort, or gives up too soon. With tracking, you build a visible chain of proof that says you are showing up, you are growing, and you are still in charge of your body. The human brain is wired to love progress, but it often misjudges it. We overestimate what can be achieved in a week and underestimate what can be achieved in a year. A log or notebook corrects that mistake. Imagine placing a small notebook by your bed. Each morning after your sit-to-stands, you write the date and the number of repetitions you completed in 30 seconds. At first, the numbers are modest. 3, 4, maybe 6. But after a week, you see 7 entries in a row. After a month, you see 30. That visible streak builds pride and consistency. It tells you not only that you did the exercise, but that you are the kind of woman who keeps promises to herself. Tracking does not need to be complicated. You do not need an app or elaborate charts unless those excite you. A calendar with check marks, a notebook with simple numbers, or even a page where you draw a line for each day is enough. The power is in the act of recording. When you write down your effort, you are reinforcing the identity of a strong, disciplined woman. You are no longer just doing sit-to-stands. You are becoming the person who values strength every single morning. This identity shift is more powerful than it sounds. Because once you see yourself as a strong and consistent woman, other choices fall into place naturally. You carry yourself with more confidence. You walk taller. You may even find yourself saying yes to activities you once avoided, like joining a class, traveling, or gardening again. The ritual of tracking feeds not only muscles, but also courage. Progress in sit-to-stands is often subtle. Without tracking, you might miss it. In the beginning, you manage only 4 repetitions. 2 weeks later, without noticing, you are completing 6. A month later, 10. These small increases might slip past your awareness, but when written down, they stand as undeniable evidence. Each increase is a reason to celebrate. Each number is proof that sarcopenia can be resisted and reversed. This proof motivates you to continue when energy dips or life feels heavy. Instead of relying on fragile motivation, you rely on evidence. Another benefit of tracking is accountability. When you share your progress with a friend, a daughter, or even a grandchild, you create a bond. You can say, "I did my 30 seconds this morning. How about you?" Some women keep a streak calendar on the fridge, so the whole household sees it. Others mark progress in a shared journal with a friend. Accountability turns a private habit into a shared journey, and shared journeys are more joyful. Celebrations are sweeter when witnessed. Let us talk about the emotional side. Many women past 60 have been told directly or indirectly that decline is inevitable, that their best years are behind them. Tracking is a quiet rebellion against that belief. Each mark in your notebook says, "I am still building. I am still capable. I am still strong." It counters the cultural message of fading with a personal message of flourishing. Over months, those marks accumulate into a story of resilience that no one can take from you. There will be mornings when you do not feel like doing the habit. You will wake stiff, tired, or preoccupied. This is where tracking saves you. When you see 20, 50, or 100 days in a row, something inside you refuses to break the chain. You realize the habit is bigger than today's mood. You push through not because of willpower, but because you respect the streak you have created. This is how consistency is built. Motivation is fickle, discipline is solid, and tracking is what makes discipline visible. Tracking can also include feelings, not just numbers. Some women like to write how they felt after the exercise. Strong, tired, joyful, proud. Over time, you see patterns. Perhaps the mornings you fueled with protein felt better. Perhaps the days you stretched briefly before sit-to-stands felt smoother. These insights help you refine your routine. The log becomes not just data, but a diary of your journey, a story of strength and discovery. Consider what happens after 3 months of consistent tracking. You open your notebook and see 90 marks. You flip through pages and see numbers growing. You read little notes where you wrote "proud today" or "balance feels better." This evidence changes how you see yourself. You no longer question if the habit is worth it. You know it is. You no longer wonder if aging must mean weakness. You know it does not. The notebook is your mirror, reflecting a stronger version of you. Let me paint a vision of the future. 5 years from now, most women your age will be weaker, slower, more dependent. But you will have a notebook filled with hundreds of days of effort. You will have thighs that still rise you from chairs, balance that still carries you upstairs, and confidence that still lets you garden, travel, and play. The proof will be undeniable because it is written in your own hand. This is the legacy of tracking. It transforms a 30-second act into decades of independence. It is important to remind yourself that perfection is not the goal. There will be missed days. Life sometimes interrupts. Do not let a gap erase your progress. Simply return the next morning and continue. A broken streak is not failure. Failure is giving up entirely. Success is returning again and again. Your notebook will show both the gaps and the returns, and that honesty makes the story more powerful. When combined with sit-to-stands and breakfast protein, tracking completes the system. Movement sparks the muscles, protein feeds them, and tracking ensures the habit lasts. This trio is simple yet profound. It does not require gyms, equipment, or expensive supplements. It requires only a chair, real food, a notebook, and your commitment. With these tools, you can push back against sarcopenia, protect independence, and reclaim joy in your body. The evidence will not be in theories or promises. It will be in your notebook, in your stronger legs, in your steadier steps. This is the gift of tracking. It turns effort into identity and identity into freedom. When we step back and look at the bigger picture, the path to strength after 60 is not built on complexity. It is built on signals, nourishment, and consistency. 30 seconds of sit-to-stands each morning is not just a movement. It is a message to your body that says strength matters, independence matters, and life is not finished. Adding protein at breakfast provides the raw materials for muscles rebuild and flourish. And tracking your progress creates the thread of accountability and pride that keeps the ritual alive through good days and bad. Together, these three pillars form a foundation that fights sarcopenia, the silent thief of muscle, and gives you back balance, energy, and freedom. It is worth remembering that aging does not automatically equal decline. Decline happens when we stop sending signals, when we stop giving our bodies the tools they need. But growth, resilience, and vitality remain possible well into the 60s, 70s, and beyond. I have seen women who thought their best years were gone rise again, simply by practicing this short daily ritual. They discovered stronger legs, steadier steps, and more joyful confidence. They discovered that life can still be rich and independent, not because of expensive gyms or strict regimens, but because of a chair, an egg, and a notebook. This conclusion is not just about theory. It is about reclaiming your story. You have a choice each morning. You can allow silence to tell your muscles that weakness is acceptable, or you can spend 30 seconds sending a loud, clear signal that you intend to remain strong. You can skip protein and drift into fatigue, or you can feed your body the fuel it needs to stay vibrant. You can ignore your progress, or you can mark it proudly and watch your streak grow longer every day. These choices are small, but small choices compound into big results. That is the truth of building strength after 60. So tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you pour your tea, stand up tall. Find your chair, plant your feet, and perform your sit-to-stands. Follow that with a nourishing protein breakfast, then write your number in your log. These 3 steps will take less than 10 minutes, yet they carry the weight of decades. They carry the weight of independence, confidence, and joy. And they are yours to claim. If this message has resonated with you, I invite you to continue this journey with us. Subscribe to Steady Steps Health, where we share clear, practical, evidence-based guidance for living strong and independent after 60. Join a community of women who refuse to accept decline as destiny, who choose to keep their strength, their balance, and their freedom. Together, we are proving that aging can be vibrant, confident, and powerful. Your 30-second habit is the beginning. Let us walk this path side by side.